the people that he knows what's the problems in Egypt, what's our situation right now, what the resources we have, what the challenges we are facing to utilize these resources, even human resources, natural resources, and so. Actually, we have also the administration reform, not only to put the right person in the right place, but also we need a totally administration reform. We saw that after the revolution, many people make demonstration in the streets. They need that to work in the government. They want to work into the government, and the government respond to many of them and make them work for the government, which is not a real job. It's not a real solution.
You mean a governmental job?
Yes.
To be affiliated to the government,
yes,
and not a private work or
no.
Yes.
It's not the real job of the government to make all the people work for the government. It's the real job for the government is to facilitate the investment, to facilitate the investors to come and make companies and make.
Actually, sir, these were individuals, but this is a culture, not.
Yeah.
I mean here that it's not because of the government.
Yes.
That this culture has.
You touch a very critical issue.
Yes.
That's the culture of the nation, the culture of the people. We need many things to do to change this culture.
Raise awareness.
Yes.
Raise more awareness, political, economic, and socially even.
Yeah, socially also.
Yes, awareness. That's a point very much important. So you mentioned turning the country towards a civil democratic state, accepted. But as if you heard me at the very beginning, I said that we are really in a time of crisis. I don't know why the Western or the foreign countries do not believe that we are really in crisis time, that we are really facing terrorism in its strongest terms, but that is the truth. So, in time as such, do we really need this very much civil, democratic, accepted state?
I would say it was one of the main objectives of the revolution of 2011.
Actually, it was freedom, social justice, and dignity.
And indignity, yeah. That was one of the four notions of the revolution, and without it, we would go back to square one. And but I think that let me give you an idea about what the foreign circles or Western circles, like in European Union, like in the United States and others, how they look at Egypt at the moment. After the 30th of June, the whole Europe, and especially the United Kingdom, they came up on their toes and said, okay, now Egypt is witnessing a coup d'etat. And we have all heard this, and we Egyptians, and I was really one of them who fought this idea. And I remember that I spent about 2 days with the BBC England,
yes,
and fighting this, and I was supported by some of the MPs, member of Parliament, British member of Parliament, and Lords, and member of the Lords, the old ones, the old ones. They supported me in this, but the Foreign Secretary himself, William Hague, he came up with the statement that now Egypt is through a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat, in their definition, is that if a military goes and make a hold up on the
institutions,
against the constitution,
yes,
and elected president, and all this nonsense words. But our point and our argument really was that this is the will of the people, the will of the masses of the Egyptian people, everywhere in Egypt, after deterioration of, or 1 year of deterioration, political, economic, social, and so on and so forth. After I mean, exposing the whole country to a massive risk coming from everywhere, especially from the eastern borders. Then now, with the development and the progress and the noticeable progress in the roadmap, which was designed and announced by Field Marshal Sisi on the 3rd of July last year, and the progress and step by step after that, the West realized that it was a serious diversion, not a coup d'etat, not a revolution, but a diversion of what was happening over the past year, over the 2012, 2013. So now they are becoming more convinced and more recognizing that the people of Egypt put themselves on the right track with the military and all the, transitional institutions, the cabinet, the police forces, the army, and the man on the street. Okay, that's now becoming more convincing to them. But are they really convinced?
No.
Are they really
so far
want to be convinced? This is a big question, especially that question comes from across Atlantic in the United States.
And that is a big question that we want to ask.
Just remind me to tell you what is the theory of the cork. You know the cork?
You will tell me about
the cork. Just remind me. I'm going to give you an idea about this very, very old British theory. I'll tell you about that later.
Yes, definitely. A democratic state. What kind of civil democratic state do we need right now? And how do you think it could be taken by people here?
Let me defeat the said that we don't need a president from a military background. Many of the democratics in the world, the presidents there are coming from military background, like United States, France.
The United States, Obama did not come from a military background,
but George
rather
Bush,
maybe yes,
Bush,
the father, and Bush,
yes.
No, not Bush the
also,
son, of course.
We have to convince the world that what they need from us, from being a president from a military background or a civilian background, they need this place to be stable, to be a player, a fair player in the world game, to be a fair player in the world trade. If we can do it with any president, although coming from military background or civilian background.
Let's not speak about the West and speak about maybe there might be fears of people inside Egypt, of a commander or a leader of the country with a military background.
If we have a president who respects the human rights, and he knows what the country needs exactly, and he fulfilled the needs of the people, what we need more than that? I think coming from military background, who knows how to manage things in very crisis situations, so I think he's very, very suitable for the situation right now. We don't want to transfer into a military camp or something like this, but we want things in Egypt to be in order. To be in order. And Field Marshal Sisi, who came from the military intelligence, so he knows very well the danger who surround the Egypt. So he knows, maybe he knows something others don't know.
You mean here that, of course, we are being threatened very much indeed by terrorism. We are being threatened by theories and by, let me not say conspiracy theories, because as a matter of fact, they prove to be very much right. But we are surrounded by many threats. So he, as the former military intelligence chief, is very much aware by the threats we've been in and what is really facing us at this exact stage.
Yes, of course, of course.
Right. What's the story of the court?
Yeah. You know, and I remember that I've been asked this question when I was in one of the TV channels in London about a military commander coming with intelligence background, coming to rule in Egypt that will take you back to the early 60s and early 50s.
A police state.
Yeah. I said, you know, my question was very much capsulized and very much concentrated to I said, yeah, maybe not the best, but he's the most suitable now.
Yes.
Because we have no other choice. Because if we go to, the alternative is very, very dangerous for Egypt. Either we go to the left camp, okay, with all those leftists and Nasserists, and then, which is not suitable for the time being, or we go back to those, you know, with long beards and long galabia again, back to the, you know, those are, we have no other choice but those.
Let's say a religious state more.
No, we are religious. We are religious people.
We are people. We are conservative people.
We are religious people, but we are not a religious state.
And we do very much respect our religions.
Absolutely.
And its essence. What we were speaking about was a state that speaks with the words of religion, putting them in a political order, and that's it.
I'm in favor of disengaging between politics and religion, which is, that's why the West, you know, mushrooming and booming up since centuries ago. But again, you know, back to the nomination of Field Marshal Sisi, again, he is the most suitable. Maybe he's not the best, but for the time being, for this stage, we have no other choice. And I'm a believer, I'm a firm believer that any rival who would run against him in that presidential campaign or presidential elections will commit suicide politically and financially, because they're going to lose their money first and their political image, because it has been already decided by the people.
Yes.
By the people. And probably it's going to be one-man show or one-man run. Okay? Those who will realize that they have no...
It would be an assignment from people.
Yeah.
People assigning him to the job.
Assign. Yeah, I mean, those, at the end of the race, I'm sure that many of wise candidates will realize that it's in vain to run against him, and they will step down. That's my prediction. Okay, and I don't like this, by the way. I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like people to lose face and step down against him. Okay, this will give not a very positive image in the outside world. Okay. So back to what the people are looking at Egypt, or
the Cork.
You know, or how the West and how those are supporting the West want Egypt to be. Okay, Egypt is a sort of a cornerstone to any strategic international performance worldwide. You know, and that was a British policy and stable and designed for Egypt since the 19th century. And it came afterwards with the support of the United States that I would say, to emphasize that theory of of the cork. The cork, you know, they need Egypt is like a cork on, in a pool, okay? Will never sink and will never reach one of the edges. It will stay like this